I'm doing this because, oh, it's all going to lead to opportunities.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, here's this big network of people that I just have there. Like, and then I'm also not doing that, like, oh, I'm going to use them whenever I need them type of thing.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah, I
add
hear.
her on there,
Yeah, I hear that. I'm just saying that. But you asked me.
yeah.
Yeah, that shit's trash.
Yeah, it's all trash. You know, I'm not making excuses for it. I just, it sounds like you're like, oh, you this, or you think I have a certain perspective or idea about it, or I'm like taking
No,
everybody in
we already
anything.
done talked
I'm
about
being
that.
strategic about this. I'm
Yeah.
being mindful and very, and that's not just his business. That's like having my LinkedIn period.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I don't just
Yeah, I know.
play
It's the
around
same
with
way
it.
like me playing the game on this right
You do
here.
not want to be in that
So,
situation with somebody you barely
Yeah.
know.
just talking to people, you feel there's a certain way of feeling that is not. It doesn't feel good to me.
And that chick on there, I'm not talking, hey girl, what's up? Like, I didn't say shit to her, she said shit
No,
to
I'm
me.
just saying though.
She
I
just
just
sent me the request.
yeah, I hear you, but I'm just saying like for both sides, it just doesn't. And
Big receivables
Well,
problems.
what helps me is I know that
yeah, no, I know
once I
that shit.
start business, make some money, get the fuck about
Yeah, I
it.
know. That's why I'm like, but I'm just saying though. If you ask,
Talk to the client,
you know what I'm saying?
work something out,
Ask what?
but don't keep
yeah, how do I feel
working.
about it?
Don't keep
Okay.
Well, I
making
don't
that
like
bill
it.
bigger
I don't
and
like
bigger
it.
and bigger.
But it has to be
The
done.
longer it goes on, the less likely
That's
it
all
is
I'm
you're going to
saying.
get paid.
And I know if I was in that shoe, you would do the same thing. I mean, you were.
And always put a clause in your
I had to go to the
contract that says, I call
hospital
it the two strikes you're out
when
clause.
the
If you
chick
have
had to
failed
take
to
me.
make
Remember?
payments on time,
Yeah.
twice within 12
See what I'm
month
saying?
period, I have the right to terminate the relationship and good luck. That's a clause that should be in all your contracts. Mediation, arbitration,
It's just unnatural feeling. It's an unnatural feeling of
small claims court. But here's a great
like
trick, by the way.
just
The question that
communicating
people
with
always
people,
like to ask is, can I go medieval?
but like in work,
Can I
you
go
have to do
coastal?
it.
The answer is
You
you
see what
really
I'm saying?
can't. There's federal
Yeah.
laws that say
You
you
get what I'm
can't do
saying?
that.
Yeah, I get what you're
It's
saying.
called the
I
Fair Debt
just,
Collection Practices
it
Act.
seemed like you
It
talked to me like
restricts
I,
debts and stuff like that.
like you
Here's a
said,
dirty
we
little
talked
trick.
about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm
Yeah, but you were
all
explaining to me, so that's why I explained to you.
It's such a cute. A client
Yeah,
of
but
mine
you
actually
brought up
does
the
this, and
LinkedIn
it's
thing,
absolutely brilliant.
so that
If
Yeah,
you
that prompts
get
you to
into
talk
a
again
yeah,
about it.
like you were concerned about that or
Oh, yeah.
something, because you called out that specific thing. So.
No, that's all I heard him talk about. I didn't hear anything else he talked about.
Write the debt off. Call him up and say,
When I got here, he was
"Forgive
talking
the
about
debt."
that.
You know what? It's quite clear you're never going to pay me here, Joe. I'm forgiving the debt. And send him
I
a
don't
letter,
give a fuck about these people.
certified mail,
Am I
saying, this is to
trying
confirm
to
that I
fake
am
my way
forgiving
into
the amount that
anything
you
with
owe
them?
me in the
My
amount of
intent with this
$50,000. I am
business
not
is
gonna,
to be able
we're not going to do business ever
to do
again.
my job.
But I am
Yeah, but I was
forgiving
bringing up like I just don't like the
Have fun,
like
have a
doing
nice
it on
life.
my
Here's
own
the
channel.
trade
I
off.
just like
Okay, send
Yeah.
it.
that's not what I started this for. I didn't start this to
Then
and I
wait
lost
till
that.
January
Like
and send them
I just want to
a
put my shit out there,
1099.
Yeah,
MISC.
and then you watch it if you enjoy it.
yeah.
Because right now everybody's on that. Oh, what do you do for me? Please me. And then I give you my attention and my, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's not what I joined this for. I joined this to just put my shit out and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go to the movies and be like, hey, Pinocchio, say what's up to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You done?
No.
How was it?
It's good.
It was good, huh?
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
good.
It was too good for me. I can't eat it.
I refer to this as
Yeah,
a
'cause it's-
24/7. When you are a consultant, you are selling
Like I'm
your
like worried
time.
about the bread part
At
of
the end
it.
of the day, you're not really selling services. You're selling your time.
That shit was
There's
good
only
yesterday,
24 hours
but
in a day, 7 days a
eating
week.
this one, I was like,
Consulting is a non-scalable business. That means in order to grow your business, you have to
And like all
add
the
people
greasing.
and spend more money. Okay, hiring, training employees, interns. Do you want to be a manager rather than a doer? This is the question you have to be. I'm wrestling with this right now. Somebody
No.
asked me just at dinner.
no, I had
Yeah, Cliff, are you still doing all
on
this crap
stuff on my
yourself?
hands.
And the answer is yes, because I don't want to grow a firm. I just don't want to
Yeah.
be a manager. I'm perfectly
Yeah.
happy practicing
What about
law. I
Give
don't
me your
really
hand.
want to grow a firm and become a manager. I don't be responsible for my students and my interns and
Yeah,
my young lawyers'
I know what you're
mistakes. I
thinking
don't
of.
want
You
that.
know, any other way
I'm
about it. I
perfectly-
was
Some
just,
people want to build an empire.
just saying that.
That's
You know,
great.
I know what
But
needs to
keep
be
in
done.
mind that
Like,
the
this
more
is
you
not
hire
for
people, the
fun.
more you
Yeah, I
hire
know.
This is like I'm
supervising
trying
them,
to.
No, I said I know what
Get
it
out of
is.
this
being less the
shit.
professional
Yeah, I know.
that you want to be.
But I'm just saying.
And then also, a big problem you have is making sure
Oh,
you're
think about
fully
last
testing
night.
clients. Okay,
It's like-
that's something else too. Inevitably,
I want to
once you delegate
make
too
it to
much to an
where
employee, the client gets to view them as
and I
their
can
lawyer,
talk
consultant,
comfortably.
whatever, and you have lost the client.
However the
Okay.
fuck we want.
Selling your practice,
In
exit
the sense
strategy. Every
of-
business has an exit strategy. What's yours
I
going
don't
to
want to be
be? I'm going to
polished
work
the
till
way
I
I
drop.
talk.
I'm going to work till
I don't
I'm
want to be
96.
not saying I don't want
People
to
tell
be,
me that.
because
The
that's
nice
how
thing
I
about
talk.
being a consultant,
But
you
if
can
I'm
work as
giving you
long as you have
what-
functioning brain cells. So in my case, I still got a
If
couple
I'm
of
giving
good
you-
years left.
If
that I
I'm
can
giving
do,
you the
okay?
product
But
You
when it comes
understand what
time
I'm
when you want
giving
to
you
sell
and why
it,
I'm giving it to
when
you?
it comes
It should
time,
be good.
make sure you
And I
sell
say
the
that
assets
because
of your
I was
business.
thinking
Don't
about
sell
That's
the
how I
LLC.
always feel. I always feel if you just a straight legit dog,
Which,
then
yeah,
straight legit, then you shouldn't have no
that
problem.
has taken me far.
Yeah, but the part that fucking gets people over is that when you straight legit, they're like find holes in your straight legitness and they fucking use
Well, my
that to.
problem,
So if you didn't put this in your contract, then they're like, we're gonna fucking take advantage
well,
of
I
this
am not worried about that because I'm systematic. I'm being very systematic because that's what I do in my job. And even with all the bullshit at my job, what I do works. Even with the barriers. So if I'm doing it myself without the restrictions of these people, then I'm not going to have any problems. Now I can confidently say that because if I'm telling you, honestly, this is what I do. This is why I do it. Like they're like, oh, how do you make them feel like I do that in my job? I'm like, what is it that you need to do? What are you trying to accomplish? Let me see if what I'm selling will do that. If it don't do that, then I'm not about to form whatever I'm doing into something for you unless that's reasonable and I can do it. It's in my capacity. It don't stress me out. You know, it don't require me to go and learn a whole new skill. I ain't trying to do that shit. You know, I'm trying to take what I already have and use it. And I seen it work. So I don't. Where I'm at, like I'm thinking of myself. I gotta get out of this mindset that it's arrogant and more of what I do with it can be arrogant. I just have to pull it back. But it's not arrogant of me to sit there and be like, look, I've been doing this shit for 5 years at this job. I have a whole career of financial services and insurance background. I should be at the point I get to teach, and all I have to do is teach. Whether I have a
We gotta
client
take
or
those
not.
chances with opening a seminar and shit like that.
Whether I have a client or not, I'm gonna go to somebody this shit first. You know?
Yeah, to test it out.
And I'm gonna write an ebook. I'm gonna do a webinar. That's the workaround to that. I do a professional webinar, and I put that out there. Hey, here's my thing, you know, or go to somebody's event, and be like, hey, I know you got a bunch of businesses there. I can talk to them.
And this is good. This one's a good ass pizza,
Yeah, it's a
bro.
real good pizza. It's just like Little Caesars.
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, all the things that we talked about. Here are some excellent books that will help you if you are starting a solo consulting practice. You will notice they have two very, very good things in common. And this is indeed what I look like. Some of you will see, if you look at the photo on my website, I do look like that when I lose about 50, 60 pounds. It's not quite fraud yet.
I gotta stop too.
But it's heading in that.
I ate a lot of
But
it.
it is heading in that direction. This one is a little bit. I could use a little bit of a wide angle. I'm really not a PowerPoint person. This is all my contact information with some of my websites, and that is it. That's really all I have to say. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You've been very patient, and you've just been a wonderful audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter Griffin.
For the public record, 4 seconds left to go on the timer. Okay, so those of you who think I don't look at the timer, there we go. Okay. The book, sure, you got it. Okay. These are two of my best. Seriously, go to Amazon and click on Cliff Enico. That's what I go by. I've written 15 books. Some are for authors, some are for regular folks. But these are two of my best.
Upload my shorts.
If you anybody, by the way, who sells on eBay, this has become the bomb for eBay sellers. eBay actually endorses this book, recommends this book to their new sellers.
I'm gonna say I hate your phone. I said I don't like your phone.
Tax and legal
Yeah, I'm picking it myself.
People who sell at retail.
I don't really, but I'm like, look, I already got to deal with Call of Duty and GTA and fucking Devil May Cry, and their buttons all different. Now I gotta come here slow, soft, or this way, or push this way. No.
The difference is, how do you add value to the customer's life?
I've been getting a little bit better at it though. I've been messing with it a lot more now that I use this one.
I think there's a male and female way of selling. There are some people who are more comfortable
Let's see how that
with
store's
female
doing.
consultants. So
Seems like it's slowed down. Man, fuck you, man.
To a client, a law firm, let's say, that has predominantly female partners, I will bring a female colleague to that
That's
meeting
good.
because I want them to know that I'm female friendly. That would be one reason, for example. I really don't think it depends on the services that you're providing.
Yeah.
I will tell you, when it comes to web designers, there are two kinds of web designers. And there really is, I think, a sexual difference between them. There's one kind that really is great at design.
No,
It can make the pages just look
so yeah, you
beautiful
don't
and
do that.
pop,
What?
and they know everything there is to know about
Change
colors,
the title.
but the sites are slow and clunky.
For the tags,
and they
It's not that I don't want to do it. I mean, I would do it.
Not don't want to. I mean, you don't do that.
Yeah, it's not that I don't do that. I would do it. I just like no, fuck you.
Yeah.
I do find that there is a male-female correlation very often between those two kinds of web designers.
And then if it does good and it doesn't, just because I didn't change the title, I mean, because I did change the title, then I'm like, oh,
that's not a stereotype. That's just one example, for example. So if I'm looking for a web designer, I
really believe the devil's gonna help me.
What am I looking for? And I might be a little
He's gonna make
prejudiced
my
for
wishes come
the
true.
female if I'm looking at the design side, just because I think that
All I gotta do is the bare
Yes.
minimum.
The whole question, the question you
Hell
asked is
yeah.
it better to have employees or independent contractors in certain environments, and really, it's a tough thing. I always say, did you ever read Machiavelli, The Prince? You know,
Machiavelli?
political, strategy.
He just
devices.
stupid.
And one of the chapters he talks about military, and he says, if you really want to protect your city, you must make sure to have troops of your own. Never rely on mercenaries, he says, because mercenaries have a nasty habit of going with whoever pays them the most. They have no loyalties. These are just hired swords or hired guns, So that would be the best advice, I think, comes from Machiavelli there. I think if you're really trying to build a brand and grow successful, I see a lot of young people today doing what I call virtual companies, where there are no employees. It's just, there's the CEO, and then there's a bunch of people all working 1099 part-time. Well, first of all, those people have to watch out about the employee versus independent contractor thing. If you're working 20 hours a week, at set times for this company, you are not an independent contractor. You're an employee in the IRS's eyes. But also, too, they have to ask yourself, what's the value here? Someone's working for me, and they're working for, they're living on Red Bull, they're working 80 hours a week, but all of a sudden they get a full-time job. Boom, they're going to be gone, and guess what? They own 20% of my company. Because that's what I offered them when they came on board. I have a little problem with the virtual company. I don't think you can run a company with 100% independent contractors, and although that does not stop a lot of big companies from trying. It's certainly impressive. Any other questions? Sure.
Companies be trying to hire another contractors, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, they be trying to hire them as contractors, but they're technically still employees because you have them on.
Oh, the workers that work with y'all.
Corporate America.
Because we don't tell them
Apocalypse.
that they have to work at certain
Famine, pestilence, and death.
times. Just give them the job.
Seriously,
too.
it's actually one of my most
And we
requested
have a
talks. I
delivery
it up
date,
my
but we
YouTube
agree on
channel.
that.
Mega trends that are driving the corporate job market right now. It's not a very exciting talk. I will warn you. You might have some liquor handy when you listen to this.
Now, there are
It's not so
some
much this,
that
this is one of
I-
the better ones.
If I'm not mistaken, that
Seriously,
has
you wanna
happened
know
where
what's
they're
going
like,
on
no,
in
you
the
have to
economy
be.
today. That's one YouTube video that I would refer
Matter of
to.
fact,
The question is,
which I
you
still
come from a
wouldn't consider
commercial
that
banking
a,
background. You have a military background.
Yeah, 'cause
That tells me
Sumerian,
a lot about you.
you have to be in meetings at
I would
certain
think that
times.
what you want to
But
do
we
is you want
agreed
to go
on
out
that.
and
I
consult the
coordinated
banks,
around
but
the
not
contractor
necessarily
schedule
on
too,
the
like,
operations or
just
whatever it
Yeah,
was
see,
that you were doing for
I'm
your
different in
former
that way. Like, I don't
employer.
schedule something and then tell you have to be there.
Yeah.
Like, especially as a
But coming from
contractor.
military
Matter of fact,
background, you
anybody.
also have a lot of credibility that
I
you may not
look at your
recognize
schedule
you have
first,
in
and I see what time you
training
have available, and then I go to
development
client like
and
this is
instilling
time you got
discipline
available.
in
I'm
people.
not about to
A lot
force
of
you and
organizations
risk
have trouble
you
with
not being
discipline
able
now
to commit
because
to
let's face
that
it, they did
or
away
having
with
to
the
find
50
somebody
years
else.
ago or 45 years ago. A lot of people don't have a military background, and the military gives you many things, but one of the things it gives you is organizational discipline. Show me someone who's been in the military, and I will show you a very, very good worker, and a very loyal worker, and a very hard-working person. All right? By teaching those kinds of skills, especially to companies that have a lot of younger workers, I think that's an area, now that's HR, that's not something that you've historically done, but because of your background, I think you have a very strong credibility. That's an example, perfect example, by the way, what I meant by not being limited to what's on your resume. And not being a prisoner of your resume. Use a little creativity. You have a lot to teach people more than just the specific technical things that you did when you were working for your former employer. In fact, if I can bore you for about 5 minutes, I want to share a story with you. There's good news and there's bad news here about consulting. The good news is, even in this crappy economy, there are tons of jobs available for good consultants. There's a ton of work available for good consultants. There is. That's the good news.
Yeah.
But here's the bad news. Very little of that work is stuff that's on your resume right now, today. The kind of things, the kind of jobs that companies need done are going to be at an angle to the stuff that you have done historically and that
There's a lot of good work out there for consultants, but a lot of it's not going to be aligned with what's on your resume. It's going to be adjacent to it.
If you're
If you're a good
successful
consultant, you'll get the
and
jobs.
you
And
pick a
that's
company
exactly what
and
happens
they
with
like
me.
you,
Like, they'll
I
come in for one
guarantee
thing, and
sooner
I'm
or
like,
later you're going to
but you
have
need
this
this thing,
conversation.
like
The
Panda.
person's going to say to
I'm
you,
like,
you know what, Joe?
yeah, but
I like you. I really think you're
yeah, but
taking a
y'all
very
need
nice
these
view of
things,
this.
and
I
you
really
probably
think
gonna need
you're
some
handling
change
yourself here.
management.
Listen,
You probably
I
need
got
to
this little
restructure your
job over
roles and
here. It's a
responsibilities.
frugal premise. That's just a made-up word.
And then boom.
It's a frugal premise project. I do have a little budget for it, but I don't want to put any of my full-timers on it. We're looking for someone from outside the organization to do it. Can you help us with this? Because really we could use some help. We want to get this job done quickly. Whatever the frugal premise is, I guarantee it is something you yourself, it is relevant to your field. It is something you kind of know about,
You gotta know how
but
to
it's not on your resume. It's
cross-function
not
your
something you've
stuff.
ever
You
actually
gotta know how to
done.
see that you
Okay?
do
Here's
these
how a
things.
loser
What you do
handles
is
that
applicable to all
situation.
the things.
Oh, well,
That's where I'm a good salesperson, because I can pitch the value of this thing to McDonald's. I can pitch it to a fashion
Frugal premise,
I
I
can pitch
kind
it
of know.
to
I've never done it. I don't know
whoever,
anybody else
because
who
I
does.
can see the
I'm sorry.
relevance in
This
it.
is
Like
something
really,
I'm
everybody
comfortable
has the same
with. That's how,
problems.
and at that point, of course,
Everybody
the
needs the
interview
same
was over.
shit.
The only reason you were in
what
that
form
person's
of
office
feed
was because they wanted to get that frugal premise project in somebody's hands, right? Here's how a winner handles this. I'm going to pick you in the front row here just because, you know, I know you too. I know you don't bite. But I'm just going to looking straight in the eye, say, frugal premise? Yep, I can help you with that. Smile, eye contact, do not show fear. Do not show fear.
That's what I do. I'm like, yeah, I got you on it, because I know I do
They can
that.
smell fear.
Basically, like, if you say, yeah, I can help you with that.
Really?
Like, if they just something off the wall.
Let's see what's happening here.
No,
Rand-
kind of thing
Been
that's
trying
done.
for months to get this frugal premise project off his desk, right?
You talking about doing jobs that you don't think you can do because you've never done it.
Yeah.
And this client asks you, well, can you do this? And you're just like, yeah, I can do it. Now, for me, I'm like, don't say that shit if you know you're not a type of person who can figure shit out.
Yeah.
And you know you can't commit to that. But if you can, say, yeah, I can do that. And they're like, what? You know about, like, he used the example of frugal framus. Like, what the fuck is that? You know, and the client's going to be surprised if you know what that is. So I'm going to hear what he says, but he's like, yeah, I can help you with that. And they're like, oh, you know what frugal framus is? Now I'm thinking he's going to say what I would say, which is, no, I've never heard of that shit. But you know what I do know how to do? I know how to build businesses. I know how to sell to customers. I know how to do those things. And that's a blueprint infrastructure that fits in anything. So
Yeah, so whether it's
it doesn't
frugal
it doesn't
or
matter what
whatever,
it is.
it's a made up product.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I can get you.
Yeah.
I can solve
Yeah,
the problem.
yeah.
You know, so that's one thing he's going with that, and that's how I've landed a lot of business.
Levels.
Yeah, that's how I've landed a lot of business. It's like, yeah, I can help you with that. You want to do a game contest on something? All right, I can whip some shit up. You know, like, you want to do this with your sales and marketing team? Like, yeah, and then I'll take it a step further. Here, you can have this.